Hey guys, welcome back to Pass Money. My name is Alex, and over there is Kirby. Today's topic we got is the Fed trying to increase unemployment or trying to lay you off? Kirby, what do you have off to that?
It's a good question, and the thing is, people don't follow, and I'm not directing on one side of the aisle or the other side of the aisle. People in general don't pay attention to financial news as much as they should. They listen to the Fox or the CNN or whatever their local news channel is. But those news channels all have an agenda, no matter what side of the aisle it is. Um, but the way the economy is going with this hyperinflation, it's only a couple ways that you can get the inflation down. By raising interest rates, not rising interest rates, sorry, raising interest rates, which the Fed is currently doing. And the purpose of raising the interest rates is to make it harder to borrow money to buy more goods and services. Same thing for businesses and making it for businesses to borrow money to grow their business in the housing market. Is making it harder for home buyers to borrow money to purchase a home to live in, and that's all caused by the federal government. And the reason why they want to curb people's buying or spending is because the price of goods and services is growing at a year over rate exponential of the normal trend line. Normally, in America, we shoot for 2.3 to 3% inflation rate per year. Right now, we're at 8.6%. So the only way to get that down is to curb people from spending. And I'm going to share right quick a couple of these news articles just to explain, just to try to show you what's going on with what the Fed is doing. So I'm going to hit the share button here. And of course, I don't know what screen to press because, all right. All right. So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, yeah, I can see it.
You can't see it. See, I told you. I knew I was gonna mess
No, no,
up.
no. I can see it. I can see it.
Oh, you can't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, so for here, right here. All right, so this news headline right here. Buckle up, America. The Fed plans to sharply boost unemployment. And then if you scroll down, and this is the words of the Fed chair, the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell. He made it amply clear last week that the central bank projected its benchmark raising rates, the benchmark that they're shooting for is 4.4% by the end of the year, even if it causes a recession. So they're going to do it no matter what. And then if you scroll down more, and in plain English, this means unemployment. The Fed forecasts the unemployment rate to rise, and it's at rise to 4.4%. And then and this is for next year, not this year. They projecting that it's going to rise 4.4%. And then this article is a little dated because when this article came out, this was before the unemployment numbers came out. The unemployment rate was at 3.5, but when they wrote this article, it was 3.7, but it was at 3.5, and they want to get it up to 4.4. So that means from 3.7 to 4.4, that's 1.2 million jobs. Now add 200 more basis points to that. So that's about 1.5 million people that they're looking to lose their job to curb the people's ability to pay for stuff. And he says, I wish there was a painless way to do it, but there isn't. So their goal is to drive unemployment higher. Their goal is to make more people unemployed. So it will be less people having the ability to go out and buy goods and service to keep raising the price up. To bring down the demand on that supply demand axis, they want to bring down demand so that the prices could stabilize at a lower price. So the prices will not keep going up. And then there's more articles that go along the way with this. Um, this one right here from CNN. So this is not partisan one way or the other. Uh, the Fed fights against inflation could cost up to 1.2 million jobs. This came out September 23rd. Most people don't know this. They probably don't even notice it until we just talking about it right here. 1.2 million jobs. And again, they in this article, they're basing it off of August unemployment at 3.7, but September unemployment was at 3.5. So that's more jobs that they need to curb to get there. And then it says this. That would mean around 1.2 million more people will be unemployed. At the high end of the Fed range, which is 5%, that would be 2.2 million more unemployed. 2.2 million more employed. And then I'm not going to go to the other article because it's stating similarly the same things. But if you look at the JOLTS report, you remember how we had uh, that we had 10,000 more jobs open than we had people to work. Do you remember they talking about that at the beginning of the year? And they saying the economy is good to go.
Right, right, right. Yep.
Yeah, and then now the JOLTS report came out 2 weeks ago, and a million of those jobs just cleared off the market, and then more of those jobs will clear off the market. So that's the aim and purview. So how it will usually start is all those open jobs will start coming off the market. Then when all those open jobs start coming off the market, then companies will stop hiring, or they already stopped hiring, but it will be more of abundance. Like right now, you see Silicon Valley, you see the Facebooks, the Ubers, and all the tech companies not hiring, but it hasn't went to the physical labor workers yet. So once all those jobs come off the market, that's open, that they acting like they're hiring people, but they're really not. Once those jobs come off the market, then the next thing will be for companies to cut costs. And what they'll start doing is cutting employment and laying off people over a set amount of time. They'll probably phrase it as a layoff or something like that, but really they're fired. And then that will curb the expenses that companies have to go uh so they're not paying employees, excuse me, not curb. It will curb the expenses people have as far as paying employees. Sorry about that. But I'll stop sharing now. But yeah, so that's what's going on in the Fed market. So, or in the market or the economy in general. So, what do you think about that?
It's kind of a, I guess, a touchy subject, but it sucks because in a sense I understand why they have to do it. Um, I mean, it makes total sense with inflation and everything. And it sucks because maybe right, some that aren't responsible for the inflation rates, like people that aren't huge spenders or big consumers, are gonna also be affected by this. So,
Correct.
it's like they're gonna have to just drop the ball on everybody, basically. Like everyone's gonna is gonna be affected by this. Not every single citizen, but everyone in that category, that 1.2 million, whether they're responsible or not, is going to be affected. And it's all because people have been consuming way beyond their means.
Right. And you can go back to policy. And again, like I said, it's not partisan. Republicans, they the one that started the stimulus money and the enhanced unemployment benefits. When
Right.
the Democrats took the office, they just continued it on and exasperated it more and more and more. But the thing is it's the administration, both sides of the aisle, fault for making this happen. And you can remember when this first started coming out, I used to say the same people that is helping is going to hurt in the future. And this right here is going to hurt. It's going to hurt more than just those people who benefited from those, subsidies or the stimulus, because
Right.
some of the fallout that's going to come from that is, i.e., landlords. Landlords, some of your tenants might be the ones that lose their job. So if they lose their job, then they can't pay rent. They can't pay rent. Next thing you know, they're getting a notice to quit and then getting evicted. And then that's more cost on the landlord. So let's say the landlord didn't structure their rental business correctly, and they can't afford that mortgage payment on that rental property. Then that's going to have a domino effect to the landlord. Um, and then you take a step further back from that, replacing the tenant with other tenants. Now, with that, so we already have the tenant side of it, but then think of the homeowner side of it. It's going to be people that own homes that fall into this category also. That's going to be hard to find a job. So they will lose their homes in this process. And when they lose their homes, then they will become renters, but depending on how stringent the background check or financial check is for the homeowner, if they just got foreclosed on, then how likely is there a landlord is going to willing to accept them. But the rental market itself, I don't think will take a big hit. But that initial phase of job losses and then having to deal with evicting tenants and putting people on the streets, and we're all human. We know the stuff is going on, but as a landlord, what are you supposed to do? Do you pay? Do you make your family suffer so another family can live?
Yeah.
That's the question. So it's a big domino effect. Even the people that didn't benefit from the quote unquote stimulus money can be affected because of this. And it's not just the small mom and pop landlords. This could be the big, multifamily apartment complexes and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a tough question too, because letting you as a landlord letting your family suffer so another can live is not, it's just not business. Even though it may be the nice thing to do, it just wouldn't make sense as a landlord.
Right. And it's no way that you're going to recover that money. I mean, maybe you might get a unicorn tenant. They'd be like, all right, he looked out for me, so I'm gonna pay him all the money back. But if you get that kind of person, you're blessed to find somebody like that. But more than likely, it's gonna be a tenant just going to try to take advantage or just stay in there longer they can until they have no choice. And it's not the fault of the landlord either, even though that's the situation that the economy is in. I don't know if most tenants believe that the landlord owned the property outright, but the landlord has bills just like the tenant has bills. And I'm not even talking about their own personal family bills. I'm talking about just for that rental property in itself. So those are big things that's coming out. And as Jerome Powell said, this is a necessary evil. It's not in they're expecting the unemployment rate. They're shooting for the unemployment rate to rise. It's not like, oh, we're going to raise rates and then, oh, we hope the unemployment rate don't rise. No, they're shooting for 4.4 to 5% unemployment. They're not going to stop raising rates till they get to 4.4 to 5% unemployment. So their modus operandi is to do two things: raise unemployment and stop all these people from buying all these houses and having the housing market go so high. And that's why mortgage rates are up there at 6, 7, 8, and some places 9% for non-QM and commercial.
All right, guys, if you like this video, remember to hit the like button. If you guys got any comments, let us know down below. And don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.